our company is safe, thanks to so many efforts that help protect our people in the event of a fire, natural disaster, or any critical event. The purpose of this program is to ensure that each of us understands that we have a role in our own safety. And our role today is to increase the awareness that bad things could actually happen at work. And we want to help prepare you with tips on how to respond if and when an emergency does happen. This is such an amazing company, not only because of the way we connect and support our customers, but because so many smart people work in so many different roles here at PayPal. As you watch this important module, please don't assume that safety is someone else's business. If violence takes place in your facility, what would you do? That's why PayPal is joining major employers for this very important conversation. We've asked Dr. Larry Barton to share his insights with us. Larry is a trusted expert to PayPal and to many leading global employers.
Emergencies happen without any notice, and they can happen at any time. An important part of staying safe at work during a crisis is to actually think about what you would do before a crisis. And that's what we wanted to spend a few minutes on. It sounds awkward, but you could be a first responder to help both yourself and other people if any situation such as a medical emergency or a fire or a flood, anything happened at your site or even nearby where you work. So be sure, please, to notify your site security team and the Global Security Operations Center after you take care of yourself. Their number, as well as other important numbers, are listed on the back of your badge. And of course, always remember, you can contact local police if a situation is urgent. Please, today, add the Global Security Operations number to your personal device and familiarize yourself wherever AED or defibrillator devices and your first aid kits are located. That's a way that you'll be prepared to call and act if there's an emergency. Now let's begin by thinking about any kind of critical incident at your PayPal site. Let's say that emergency might include a natural disaster, a fire, or workplace violence. Workplace violence situations can take many forms, and there can be warning signs that we have a good sense about in advance. There could be people that are struggling. Maybe somebody makes a comment about hurting themselves or someone else. In another case, we may have somebody who's a former employee seeking to regain entry to PayPal, even though their badge, that access has been turned off. That's why understanding the badge policy is so essential. Another situation could involve someone who is the victim of what's called intimate partner violence, IPV. This could be a situation where a spouse, a partner, or a former partner is seeking to cause some type of scene at work. It's not an easy thing to manage, but whatever the situation, whatever is going on in your facility or nearby, we have learned so many lessons from the thousands of people that have endured difficult situations at work. And the lessons of living and surviving, of being resilient, are pretty universal. If you see or sense that something is disturbing, if your intuition says that a situation is threatening or unsafe, make a decision. Pay attention to that intuition and act quickly. You will want to be thinking very rapidly, should I run, hide, fight? Survivors of so many critical incidents told us that they did not sit and wait for a situation to unfold. They acted quickly. In the event that you have to run because a person may have a weapon, consider running in a zigzag fashion. That may lower the chances that you could be injured. Once it is safe to do so, contact local police and then the Global Security Operations Center. In the event that you must hide, just do so quickly. Try to find a secure location, close the door if possible, turn off the lights, barricade the door, and do not answer that door until you know that you are working with law enforcement. If possible, try to call the police. Remain silent, and although you may not be able to speak, they may be able to hear the situation and even locate you faster in some cases. If you must fight, if you feel that your life is in imminent danger, survivors told us that they moved swiftly. They made a decision to overcome that perpetrator. Do whatever you have to do to survive. You have the right to survive. Now let's take a minute and think about some type of active assailant or a hostile intruder. Or it could be a fire. There could be an earthquake. There could be an explosion at some major utility nearby. There are some general safety concerns that we all share globally, but if you think now about them before that emergency, you could be thinking about your options to evacuate. Where at work is your closest exit? What if you were in a room that you're not familiar with and you did not know where to go? Remember that elevators around the world are not appropriate in an emergency, so be thinking about stairs, be thinking about your exit options. If you're unable to access the stairs, notify your BET, that's your building evacuation team, and they are here to help you understand what to think about before an event occurs. Remember that when you evacuate, you only have a few seconds to make a decision, and thinking about your devices or any material thing is not important. Get out of any kind of harm's way, because the few seconds that you need to go back and grab your pocketbook or wallet or something special may be the very few seconds that could keep you alive and safe. Always remember, too, that if there's someone near you that needs support, please try to help them. PayPal is an incredibly safe company. There's so many wonderful people that work to keep you safe every day. People that are there behind the scenes to manage any issues, whether it's on campus or even to protect the technologies that are in place. But there's a factor where we need your help, and it really doesn't have anything to do with technology. It is the gift of intuition. If someone's behavior makes you feel uncomfortable, if you're ever worried about your personal safety, if you ever hear a person make a direct or an indirect threat or share it on social networking in a blog somewhere, if somebody comes into a meeting or facility and they have an attitude and they're angry and your intuition just says, I need to get out of here, do just that. There may be other cases where you see a coworker, a contractor, somebody who's struggling about mental health issues. Unfortunately, they could be discussing suicide, or maybe it's fatigue and it has you concerned. Please speak with your manager confidentially. There are some common universal signs regarding a person who may make or pose a risk to themselves or others. Now, no list, trust me, no list is complete. But there are some of the more commonly recognized ones. They include unexpected, inappropriate anger with specific people, projects, or policies. Yelling at a coworker, a customer, or anyone, especially over minor issues. Someone who mentions or displays a weapon or discusses retaliation. Someone who is tearful, someone who's acting in a very unusual manner, or possibly they're obsessed about a personal or business problem, but really at an extreme level. Comments in person or via social networking that may suggest desperation. They're talking about homicides, they're talking about weapons or similar themes. Behaviors that somehow suggest to you that this person may make or pose a risk to themselves or others. If one person took their life at work, the scientific research is clear that anyone who had exposure to that person may have an increased risk for different issues. Just know that PayPal has teams that are trained to help you. We care, but we can only work to diffuse a situation if we are aware. So talk to your manager, let HR know, and together these wonderful folks will come together and partner with the global safety and security team. And also remember that PayPal has an excellent employee assistance program. The Employee Assistance Program, EAP, can help everyone around the globe 24/7. It's free, it's confidential. And EAP counselors can help with so many situations. It could be somebody who's going through a bad relationship, a breakup. It could be anger management. It could be depression, substance abuse. It could be also something like buying a home and not having enough money, talking out medical issues with someone. Know too that PayPal has an Ombuds ethics team. That team is really dedicated to providing resources that can help the workforce live up to PayPal's values and address any concerns that people have, including the ability to file a report that may involve something that's confidential, but you can do it anonymously. Just type "Speak Up" on the bridge to access the resources. But when it comes to these issues, it's not just what I think, it's what you think. Here's one of your colleagues.
Buenos dias. Here at PayPal, you are encouraged to speak up, including anonymously. If you see that something is concerning or unusual, there are teams such as Global Safety and Security, Legal, and HR that work hard every day to keep us safe. That's why PayPal is sharing these safety ideas and options with you.
Every culture, every region in the world is different and unique and wonderful, just like its people. Throughout the entire Asia-Pacific region, Governments are reporting that they're not only seeing an increase in workplace violence threats and situations, but also a notable increase in suicide. We can tell you that when one person takes their life or tries to, the chance that a second person in that work group may actually go to that space is higher. That's why we ask that you remain sensitive to any person who might exhibit any of the warning signs of self-harm. Now, this could also impact some people at home. So what are some of the pre-signals? And these are just examples. Well, one is talking about end of life, or a comment such as, "The world would not even notice if I was gone." Giving away personal possessions. A dramatic change in appearance. Behaviors that are just not normal for that person. Bizarre comments on social networking, on a blog, in text messages. No list of pre-signals is complete. But any one of these might suggest that a person is thinking about hurting themselves. Let's speak up. We have to be aware of workplace violence, self-harm, taking care of yourself, and the possibility that someone may seek to harm the business and our people. That is unacceptable. Just know that the team here to support you will treat these situations in a sensitive and important, confidential manner. Let's take a moment to think about one of the more serious of all topics, and that's the safety of our people in a world in which radicalization and extremism is growing. We have an obligation to talk about it, because if we care about you and your safety, we must have a dialogue. If you sense that someone's behavior is escalating, if they are making suggestions of seeking to try to get people to join a cause, and you are concerned about that, it could be a coworker, a customer, it could be a vendor, please work with Global Safety and Security and HR. This company employs so many wonderful people from so many backgrounds, and it's diversity that makes us stronger. That's something to celebrate. But there are a limited few people in all employers where somebody may begin as talking about an issue, and then they begin to try to gather information. They try to collect allies and friends, and then that talk can turn to anger, and anger can escalate into violence. That is a very good reason for you to speak up. Also, in the unlikely event that there's ever a terrorist issue in the community, please pay close attention to your devices for information. That's where public officials will be telling all of us what to do until the situation has stabilized.
We are incredibly excited about a safer PayPal. Don't forget to reference the important phone numbers on the back of your badge